Mahadeva will continue to reveal the Akashic records about death. Death is not end or extinction of existence. It is just climate change on your body and mind. Whenever many deaths of mind happens in same body, it is spiritual evolution. If many bodies die in the same mind, it is unconsciousness, spiritual endarkenment. If more minds die in same body, you are spiritually growing, evolving. If more bodies die in same mind, you are spiritually going down, destroying yourself. Again and again and again, bodies die, minds die. Blessed are those in whom many minds die in one body. Continuously allow minds to be dying. Let your mind, even if you think in a best space, allow it to die. Allow it for transformation. Allowing the mind to die every time in the same body leads you to the highest liberation and celebration. The concept of money, possession, ownership is the side effect of inability to accept the death of the body. The feeling of your son is your extension is also the inability to accept the extinction of body. When you are ready to accept the extinction of the body, the part of you which does not die goes through a powerful transformation and liberates itself from the dying component of you, which is the body. Through this way, it achieves a space where there is no extinction, where there is no death. Death is the most powerful mechanism either to get enlightened or to get yourself drowned in deeper and deeper unconsciousness. Every day when you fall asleep, it is equivalent to death. When you wake up, it is equivalent to birth. From the deep sleep, if you come to the dreaming state, it is unconscious birth. From the deep sleep, if you come directly to the waking state, it is conscious birth. Every day you go through birth and death. How you behave with this birth and death which is happening every day is going to decide how you are going to behave with the birth and death which is going to happen with your body, because every day birth and death is nothing but the direct glimpse of the long big birth and big death, which is only as a difference in time but not in space or the place. Your everyday birth and death and every life birth and death happens in same space and place. Only time difference between one birth and the other birth, the time difference between birth death of one and the birth death of the other. There are some files which is not able to completely be revealed just by verbalization. Even after reading verbalization, still those files remain having some material without being completely revealed. Those stuff, those material can be transmitted only by initiation. Because those Akashic records cannot get into the realm or verbalization, they are not able to be translated into words. They just continue to remain as vibrations. When your mind dies in the same body and becomes a new mind, cosmos enters into you. When your body dies in the same mind, takes a new body, you enter into the cosmos. When cosmos enters you, it is liberation. When you enter into the cosmos, it is death. The part feels as part the moment it wants to be part. Part only should be blamed, not the whole, because part only continues to hold on to the thought to be part. Whole is not holding on to the thought, even though the thought might have happened on the whole also. Only when you hold on to that thought, you remain as part. So, the feeling of separation, who created, why created, is not the really focus of your vengeance or action. Your focus should be on who is holding on to that feeling of separation, not who created, why it got created. Who holds on to it gives life to it. The feeling of separation, because the part only is holding on to it, it is giving life to it. So, your action and intensity to act upon should be directed to the center, who is holding on to the feeling that you are separate from the whole. You are part, not the whole.
The first question is from Janani. She is asking, Dear Swamiji, if one has taken an unconscious birth, how can he take a conscious death?
That is what is life. Life gives you the possibility to move from unconsciousness to consciousness unconsciousness to superconsciousness. If you take unconscious birth, you can move to conscious death. If you have taken conscious birth, you can move towards superconscious death, which is enlightenment itself. And even if you take unconscious birth, you can directly jump into superconscious death also. And same way, even if you have taken conscious birth, you can get back to unconscious death if you decide strongly. Usually, the conscious birth being does not want to get in, will not get in to the unconscious, but life gives you the possibility of everything. All possibilities are given to you, are provided to you. So understand the possibility exists in life. That is why it is called life. Every time when you are living, the possibility for all the dimensions are open to you, available to you, and waiting for you.
The next question is from Mary Bernard. Nityanandam Swamiji, you have already spoken of the destructiveness of suicide. Some states and countries allow patients who are suffering with a terminal illness to practice assisted death. It is strictly regulated. Usually, the family gathers around the patient and some kind of painless lethal injection is given as per the patient's wishes and instruction. Could you comment on this?
Cosmos does not agree this mercy killing. As Mahadeva already read out, it will be considered either suicide or murder. If the patient agrees, it will be considered as suicide. The patient does not agree, it will be considered as murder. But all the people who help and make this happen will be treated for murder in the cosmic law.
The next question is from Sudarshini Madan. Dear Swamiji, why there is so much of fear on death? How did the relationships emerged to be an important thing in our life?
Anything you don't understand, don't want to understand, does not have the brain capacity to understand, fear surrounds it. Unknown is always fear for any living being. Now understand Mahadeva himself, the source of the creation, the source of the existence, source of the eternity, is revealing these great truths again and again and again. Listen to these great truths, chant these great truths. This will liberate you from the fear. When your cognizance is based on these great truths, cosmic secrets, you will be free from the fear. The fear is nothing but the projection of negativity on the future possibility. It is not necessary you need to continuously project negativity or positivity on the future possibility. Simply seeing the future possibility without projecting negativity or positivity onto it is living prarabdha. So the fear comes into your system only when you project your fear, your negativity on the future possibilities. Negativities, the negative ideas does not need to be projected on the future possibility. relationships gives you the feeling it is very important in the life, because through every relationship you try to have extended life. While you are living, whatever your body and mind cannot do for your interests and pleasure, you try to fulfill through the body and minds of your relationships. And same way, whatever they cannot fulfill through their body and mind, they are trying to fulfill through your body and mind. So mutually, each other helping to fulfill the other's interests through body and minds of each other is relationships. If both of you understand the interests of each other and ready to support each other's fulfillment, it is called successful relationship. There comes love, compassion, sacrifice, and spiritual growth. But if both of them are not understanding the real agendas of others, interests of others, continue the relationship, maybe because one person has hidden interests, hidden agendas which he does not want to reveal it to the other, or which he himself is not aware. When this kind of situations arise, relationship breaks, or relationships continue to exist with being exploited, with exploitation. These kind of relationships lead to the worst grave sin of keeping the other person as slave. Whenever the slavery happens, Cosmos strongly condemns it. So no slavery is allowed in the Cosmos. Cosmos is strictly against slavery, because slavery is equivalent to the murder of partial time. In slavery, even if the other person has their body and mind, it is equivalent to they are killed, they are murdered, because that body and mind is not useful to that person anymore. So, relationship with an open, mutual interest should be encouraged, and it supports both the beings to evolve towards the fulfillment and finally the understanding how many bodies and minds you may use to fulfill your interests, that your interests are not going to lead you to your restful awareness. So that understanding may help you to renounce all the interests and even your own body and mind and settle down in restful awareness. So this understanding will naturally be leading you towards enlightenment. Going smoothly towards that understanding will be happening through the right understanding relationships. The relationships with the mood of exploiting other person with a hidden agenda without you revealing it to the other person about your interests, or you yourself may not knowing it by yourself, will lead to more and more destruction, depression. If the relationships continues, it will be the sin of slavery. If it breaks, it will be giving you a great divide, depression, feeling of emptiness. So the science of relationship is trying to have more body and minds to fulfill your interests, and trying to give the other person also your body and mind to fulfill his interests. As long as it is mutual, it is with a deep understanding, it should be encouraged, supported, and blessed. relationships with deep understanding with each other is equivalent to the conscious birth. Relationships without mutual understanding but still not broken is equivalent to unconscious life. Relationships without mutual understanding broken is equivalent to death. All unconscious life will be afraid of death and end in death. Same way, all relationships which does not have mutual understanding will constantly have fear of being broken. Finally, it will break and bring tremendous suffering to both the persons who are involved in it.
The next question is from Mary Bernard. Swamiji has said that departed souls take rebirth very shortly after death. Many mediums can see or talk to the deceased many years following a person's death. The departed person can give information to the living that the living would have no way of knowing, or ghosts are seen generations after the death of that person. Does the soul somehow split part of it moving on and part of it remaining as a part of the personality of the departed?
Only souls which are murdered or committed suicide remains without taking another body till their natural time of their death. For example, if somebody has to live for 60 years, he commits suicide or gets killed at the age of 20, the remaining number of years he remains without taking the other body. Other than that, nobody, no soul remains without taking another one body. Sometime, because of your deep imagination, you yourself project their souls out of your imagination and talk to them. Your unconsciousness supports and acts as that soul. It is the informations from your own unconsciousness, not from that soul. That soul has gone, disappeared once for all, and carrying on with his life. You may be projecting it out of your unconscious informations, while your unconsciousness supports the projection and the whole reading, talking, all the incidents related to it. It is like you using your own hand, caressing you or beating yourself. It is your own extension.
The next question is from Tyagarajan. Dear Swamiji, what should one do to leave the body without pain and in graceful way?
Every night when you fall asleep, again and again and again, do death process meditation, Nirbhaya Dhyana. So, when you do the Nirbhaya Dhyana, facing all the fears, death process, it will clear your inner space. Naturally, you will enter into painless death and deathless space.
The next question is from Rani from Bangalore. Why does the consciousness keep moving from one body to another, as with its next birth it forgets its prarabdha and has to waste more time knowing it or not knowing it at all? It does not even realize that it is choosing to move away from the source. How does the source support it at the time of death?
As Mahadeva revealed, source neither supports nor disturbs. It is the part which continues to keep the idea it is separate, alive by its own existence. Source feels compassionate towards the suffering of the part and tries to remind the part in the form of Guru. But unfortunately, if the part is too attached to the idea it is a part, it not only does not want to listen to the source when it comes in the form of the Guru and blames the Guru is lying about the reality.
The next question is from Dr. Sita from Chennai. Dear Swamiji, how does one understand death to be a continuity? Does one take the new journey of birth from the place where he left in terms of his spiritual level?
There is no new journey. Spiritual, economical, social, educational, in all the levels of Saraswatya, Lakshmitva and Durgatva, the Kalitva, in all levels, the soul starts where it stopped in the time of death. So there is not even a stopping and starting. It is just letting the new body to mature. Till the new body grows and matures, the soul rests. The moment the new body grows and matures, it starts expressing its journeys, qualities, the way he lived or live, the wealth, education and mental setup.
The next question is from Uma Sundar from Chennai. Swamiji, it is said that when you live fully in the moment throughout your life, death when it comes is but another event gracefully accepted. What is living in the moment according to Kala Bhairava?
Living in the moment means enjoying the totality of past, present, future. Living in the moment is not excluding the past and future. It is including enjoying the impact of the past into the present and enjoying the possibilities of the future into the present. It is not that always past pushes you into the present. It is future pulls you into the present. That is why before even the happening happens, you are in the mood which is going to happen. So it is future's influence which is more on your present than the past influence. Past directly influences the future and through the future indirectly influences the present. Accepting all the three influences on the present and enjoying present is the base material of time. Past is the ghost, future is the projection of the ghost. Ghost and the projection of the ghost, both of them are projected on the material called present, that is present moment. Accepting the ghost of the past and projection of the ghost of the future, projection of the ghost of the past which is future in the present, including the material called present, out of which all the three are living, are enjoying, accepting all the three's influence over the present moment is living in the present moment. The great acceptance will make you live the present moment and experience restful awareness.
The next question is from Devaki from Hyderabad. She is asking, Dear Swamiji, what are the practices which can help the consciousness to leave the mortal body at will?
Continuously, if you watch your breath and know how the breath goes inside the body and mixes into your blood, spreads all over the body through your nervous system as energy which strengthens the existence and reflection of life in your body, you will know when to stop the life supporting the individual life in your body, the prana supporting the reflection and life in your body.
The next question is from Suma from Hyderabad. She is asking, what is conscious death or graceful exit, and what is the exact lifestyle one needs to live in his lifetime to have a conscious death?
Graceful exit means without any pain, without any resentment, leaving the body with a deep fulfillment and deciding further whether to create another one body or once for all get enlightened and be liberated from the body and minds. The graceful exit naturally does not have any hangover and gives you the complete choice and possibility of next body or enlightenment. If you decide to assume the next body, your incarnation, if you decide to be in the space of enlightenment, you are God. So both choices are between you, within you. Both are made available for you. The lifestyle you need to live for the graceful exit is learn gracefully to exit in your life any moment which brings anything to you, whether you perceive that as good or bad. Know how to gracefully exit without any hangover. Move gracefully ahead of everything, gracefully moving ahead, whether it is pain or pleasure, joy or life or death, whatever it is, move gracefully ahead.